Mini episode 1201 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Hello and welcome to FDH Lounge Mini episode 1201. I'm FDH Managing Partner Rick Morris here with our preview of Better Call Saul episode 5.3. Here's our top 5 notes of interest coming out of the two-part season premiere. Number 5, the Jimmy and Kim thing is starting to drag a little bit. Okay, we get it, she's conflicted about Jimmy. She's attracted to some of his roguishness but balks when he goes too far. But that's the thing, he's shown by now that he's always going to go too far. Now that Jimmy is becoming Saul in earnest, Kim might be in danger of getting the Skylar White treatment from the fan base that's been dying for the return of this great character and may not like seeing a woman who should know better by now about his true character being perceived as a wet blanket in his life. Now that statement is less of a value judgment about her and more of a prediction about how this continuing saga may play out among viewers. Number 4, after seeing Mike break bad like never before when he killed the gentle German engineer, the after effects are predictable but still harrowing. One of the reasons that people love the Mike the Cleaner character is that he's an ageless badass, but not really a bad guy at heart. Because of the choices that he's made, he's had to do some bad things, but he has a conscience, and he's never relished those bad things. There are some real self-recriminations in the aftermath of his first wet work in Gus's employ, but Mike's never been a guy comfortable looking deep within his skin. The smart money says that he will internalize his pain and move past it in a cold manner, sooner rather than later. Number 3, Nacho is in a tighter vice than ever before. Now that Gus is overtly playing the I will kill your father card, he's caught between that Chilean psycho and the Joker-like menace of Lalo. Step 1 of ingratiating himself better with Lalo has been achieved, but it's a long road ahead for the most beleaguered member of the Salamanca crime family. Side note, speaking of the Chicken Man, Lalo referenced his Chilean past in his argument with Juan Bolsa. That's a backstory that we still need to see fleshed out before this series is completed. Number 2, Lalo is the delightful wild card that the cartel half of this series really needed. The cartel backstory on this program has, with the exception of Nacho, revolved around characters whose fate and relationships we know from Breaking Bad. This dangerous goofball is a refreshing addition to the canvas, as we are finding out more and more from each episode. He and Gus will keep circling each other, providing us with endless opportunities to delight in his antics. Number 1, we've seen 2 major turning points in the life of Jimmy/Saul/Gene over the last 2 episodes, spread across many years. The first one was the exposure of Cinnabon Gene in Nebraska, which will lead to him taking his fate into his own hands in a saga that can't possibly resume too soon. Back to the canvas of Better Call Saul years earlier, Jimmy's full-on embrace of the Saul identity, with immediate mayhem like his 50% off deal, culminated in his abduction/friendly suggestion to get into the car from Nacho. Saul's handling of Crazy 8's case will mark his first real participation in the cartel business that defines so much of his livelihood in Breaking Bad. How Saul straddles working for Nacho and the Salamancas with his association with Mike, fast on his way to becoming Gus's right-hand man, will be fascinating. Honestly, episode 5.1 didn't move the story arcs forward in a forceful manner, suggesting perhaps a leisurely season in that regard, but fortunately, episode 5.2 provided a course correction. We've been pining for the emergence of Saul Goodman for so very long, and it looks like we're going to get stories worthy of this great character this season. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.